Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed that demonstration. Personally, I thought exactly what I just showed you, which is 360 head rig in After Effects, rotation, path keyframes for multiple layers. With this rig, I really only need to worry about the position keyframes for just two layers, the head joystick and the head rotation slider. For this video, I'm going to assume you have some basic After Effects knowledge, and I would also recommend that you have some experience with joysticks and sliders. By the way, you can get joysticks and sliders from aescripts.com. But yeah, you should be able to make a basic joystick and slider before attempting this. Alright, so our first objective is to set up a joystick that controls 4 precomps. Those precomps being the front view precomp, and I just called this the side view right, the back view, and the side view left precomp. And to show you how to set that up, we're going to start fresh and take a look at the first precomp, the front view. As you can see in this precomp, it's just a bunch of shape layers which I built mainly using the pen tool. I repositioned the anchor points for some layers and I parented certain layers to the appropriate layers. Just the usual character animation process in After Effects. And with this precomp, we're just going to create our standard joystick. And just like a normal joystick, we're going to need to prepare an origin pose, a right pose, a left, up, and down pose. And we basically have our origin pose already, so we're just going to create the 4 remaining poses. As you can see here, you'll notice that I'm using sketches as guides for building up my poses. I did these sketches in Krita, but you can do it in Photoshop or Flash. Basically any program that lets you draw, and preferably something. And while it's not necessary, when it comes to building a 360 head rig, and even just a regular head joystick would suffice. Again, it's not required, but it's definitely helpful, I think. Also, I'm not going to show sped up footage of me building up the poses for every precomp, just for the Alright, so now that we have our poses, we can finally create our... And then test the joystick by moving it around and, make sure that things stay sufficiently on model. Of course, if there are any issues with that, you can always hit the unbind button, adjust whatever you need to adjust, and then rebind it. And then go to your parent comp, or create one if you have. And now the joystick in the front view precomp has been disabled. And now create your side view right. Now what you want to do is copy the disabled joystick layers from the front view, and then paste it into your side view right precomp. And then have your poses ready. And then bind them to the head joystick. And then go to your parent comp, place the side view right. And if it's all good, then just repeat this process for the back view and the side view necessary poses. Select the keyframes, and select the head joystick from the drop down menu, and then hit the bind button. Go to your parent comp, place the... And then repeat this process one more time for the side view left precomp. So paste them into your side view left precomp. Prepare the necessary poses. Select your keyframes. Select the head joystick from the drop down menu and then hit the bind button. And then go to your parent comp. Place the side view left precomp into your parent comp. And then test the joystick out again. And once everything's okay, make sure all 4 precomps are visible. And now finally we have a joystick that controls 4 precomps. It's chugging really hard right now, because this rig is really heavy at the moment, and also I'm screen recording. But once we complete the 360 head rig, it actually gets a lot lighter. So the next thing we gotta do is bring out the slider null. And to do that, we're going to need 2 keyframes on a new slider null button, and just name a head rotation. And now that the slider null is out, hit the unbind button, and then delete those keyframes. Select the head rotation slider null, and create your UI sliders. Turn off negative values, and reduce the slider scale. Change the and move the UI sliders so it's not obscuring the face. And now we have all the assets we need to create a 360 head rig. And now we just got to do one more thing to turn this into a 360 head rig. And that is, we're going to have to apply some expressions. Alright, so the goal is to make it so that moving the head rotation slider causes the head states to change. Specifically, whenever the slider reaches certain points along this line, the head states switch. So the slider value ranges from 0 to 100, and we have 4 head states. So I just divided 100 by 4. I wanted each precomp to get an equal amount of this line. We'll determine which precomp is visible. Alright, so basically, when the slider is less than 20, when the slider is greater than or equal to 25, but less than 50, then only the side view right precomp will be visible. And when the slider is greater than or equal to 50, but less than 75, then only the back view precomp will be visible. And when the slider is greater than or equal to 75, then only the side view left precomp will be visible. Alright, so let's set that up. So go to your click on the stopwatch, click on the head rotation slider null so that we can see its effects. Grab the slider value, and we're going to simplify that and just call it S. So var S equals the slider value, and just add a semicolon at the end of that line. Enter if brackets S less than 25, close curly bracket, else open curly bracket, enter 0 semicolon. So yeah, basically, when the slider is less than 25, copy the first line from the front view, go back to your side view right's opacity, paste the first line, enter if brackets S greater than equals open curly bracket, enter 100 semicolon, enter close curly bracket, else open curly bracket, enter 0 semicolon. Alright, now onto the back view. So opacity, alt left click on the stopwatch, paste the first line again, and I hit the other layers for a bit just so it was easier to see what I was doing. If brackets S greater than equals 50 and S less than 75, open curly bracket, 100 semicolon, close curly bracket, else open curly bracket, 0 semicolon. And now finally onto side view left, opacity, alt left click on the stopwatch, paste the first line again. If brackets S greater than equals 75, open curly brackets, 100 semicolon, close curly bracket, else open curly bracket, 0 semicolon. Alright, so unhide the layers. And now we finally have 360 head rig. Alright, so I'm going to explain how to add extra joysticks and sliders to. So as an example, we're going to create a joystick for the pupils. So we'll start with the new joystick button. Name it eyes joystick. Stick to the parent comp. And now the eye joystick layers in the, like what we did for the head joystick, we're going to go to our front view precomp and copy the disabled joystick layers and paste them into your side view right precomp. And I've already prepared the poses for the side view right ahead of time. Select the keyframes and select the eye joystick from the drop down menu and hit the bind button. and the back view doesn't have any eyes, so we're just going to go to side view left, paste the disabled joystick layers, select the keyframes for the eye poses, select the eye joystick from the drop down menu, and then hit the bind button. And go to your parent comp and test out your new eye joystick. And as you can see, if down. And now we're going to talk about adding an extra slider. And as an example, we're going to create a blink slider. And remember, for a regular slider, we're just going to need 2 keyframes on any property. So go to your front view precomp or your blink poses, and then hit the create new slider null button. Name it blink to the parent comp. And now the blink slider null in the front view has been disabled. Go to your parent comp, create the UI sliders, reduce the slider scale, turn off negative values, and just customize your UI slider. And once it's all good, then go to your front view precomp and copy the disabled slider null. Paste it into your side view right precomp. Have your blink poses ready. Select the keyframes. Select blink from the drop down menu and hit the bind button. And then just do the exact same thing in the side view left precomp. And once that's done, go to your parent comp and test out the blink slider. And again, if the eyes are closed in the front view, and then you turn the head with the head rotation slider, the eyes remain closed in the other precomps as well. Alright, so now we're going to test out this rig by doing a quick little animation. And for the performance, I wanted something slightly different to the demo at the start of this video. I decided I was going to make the character nod, and then, have him look around, do a 180 spin, then this time from a different direction, nod again, look around, and do another 180 turn. When you switch head states with the head rotation slider, you have to be mindful of timing and spacing. You'll see here there's like this weird jump. The head turns not smooth, so I have to add it. Worst comes to worst, if the animation still isn't working, you might have to go into one of your precomps, unbind, and adjust your poses and then rebind. To make this process as painless as possible, I would again recommend that you know how to do a head turnaround in hand joint animation. Alright, so here's the rig test. And this test only took a few minutes. But more importantly, there's position keyframes on only 3 layers. If you have any questions, you can leave one in the comment section. And if you're interested in my animations, you can send a thanks for watching and have a great day.